You knew that all we had was there. Yeah. With both hands bleeding from the work that I was doing, just so I could be the father who was feeding. All the rumors I was hearing and believing, I ain't shit, now I'm the shit, best believe it. All the times I was out praying to a Jesus.
I went to jazz school in Texas, and I moved to New York in January 2010. And when I got there, I thought I was gonna make like big band records or jazz, whatever. I don't know, I didn't have a clue. But luckily I met these guys at the clubhouse. And they were people who weren't classically trained musicians. Because I knew all the chords, I knew all the theory, I knew everything. And they had like this different way of doing things. It was frustrating for me at first, but I learned how to communicate a different way, kind of, and make records. Began to learn how to make records or whatever. But like outside of what I had grown up with or was accustomed to, it was like jazz or like recorded a certain way. And at a certain point, I made a jazz record. It was a Kuma. And that was kind of an homage to my education, because that, you know, in my mind, that was the best I could do as far as like how they told us we were supposed to make a record. And I still think it came out a little bit different. And I'm proud of it. It was great. We were roommates. All of us lived together for a while. Nolan Thieves, which makes solid projects, played bass with us. But yeah, so we're just making records and experimenting, and we're like in our young 20s, and kind of like teaching each other as we go along. And as somewhere along the process, like I like to do a bunch of horns. I always wanted to put 1 million horns on the projects or whatever. And I'm thinking like, oh, let's make a big band. They're like, no. I'm like, but I play the flute. Let me play the flute. They're like, no. Okay, cool. So then one day I was like, I want to do my own project. Like kind of like inspired of them, but not really. Like I was just like, y'all just kind of want to experiment and figure it out. And I finally had luckily, one of my roommates was really generous and had a computer that he left in the middle of the house that had Pro Tools, everything. And that's how I learned. That's what I was able to learn on. Before I could afford to get my own equipment, I was able to learn on that because it was, you know, community thing. But and so like I had this idea. I was like, yo, Kendrick Lamar, bitch, look at my vibe. Like I heard this song and it just got me really excited, and I couldn't get it out of my head. I was like, I think this would be a perfect song to do like a horn cover or whatever. And I just started it thinking I was gonna do like a saxophone version in my bedroom, just not knowing what was gonna happen. And then next thing I know, like I got a friend, I was playing with Prince at the time. I had a friend, trombone player, Joey, was staying with me. And he had his trombone. I was like, actually, you wanna play trombone? I think this would sound better on trombone. And then my roommate Jay, I was like, actually, will you replace these clarinets with like some flute, or with some flugelhorn, some trumpet? And we had this whole arrangement. And then it was called the Club Class Chamber Orchestra. That's where I was living. Club Class kind of taught me everything I know. Not everything, but a lot. Throughout this whole time, like all this stuff was happening, and like in my bedroom, I'm just, you know, making tracks or little productions or whatever. And I didn't really have the courage to release them because I was like, no, you're a horn guy. Like you're trained as a jazz musician, or like this is your lane that you're supposed to be in. But those productions, like with the Invisible Man, that was kind of the culmination, because like everything kind of came together, like the live band aspect, because before it was just horns with no drums, with no keys. And then like I had already started to add in like some programmed drums and things. And so I was like, well, actually, no, this is just because it doesn't have horns, it's kind of the same thing. Mm-hmm. Fast forward, after all these experiences, then we're on What It Is, and I would say that What It Is probably just my first time trying to step out just like as a producer, like oh, he's a saxophone player? Like, no, not saxophone, not arranger, not jazz. I mean, like I'm a jazz musician. What it is just like it's just me finally trying to step out there as a producer, and trying to enter a new chapter. 10 years removed from jazz school, from everything that I thought I knew, and yeah.
Pick up a call, drink till the lights go